What's up, guys? I just thought of making this quick video because I just got this text from one of the brand owners I've been working with. Basically, he said, not trying to get too comfortable, should I start blowing some cash? I mean, if all goes to plan, I'm not surprised if I clock $100,000 in profit this month. So this is kind of like just to give a little context of the results and case study we've been producing lately. So I just thought, why not give away the entire profit maximizing strategy that I basically use for the brands I work with? Why? Because I think people don't struggle with information, they struggle with the execution. Okay, so that's why I'm making this video, because hopefully you guys make so much money that you decide then to work with me. Okay, so now basically just to give away the entire strategy, big secret, right? Blah blah blah. It's all about recurring revenue, MRR, monthly recurring revenue. This is where brands make their profit. Okay, so if you haven't known already, if you do truly think that the biggest, largest, craziest brands depend on their Facebook ROAS every single day and don't have like other sources, traffic sources contributing to their marketing efficiency ratio, then you're just behind. Because at the end of the day, right, if you really think that if you want to scale super high and every single day depend on only Facebook ROAS as your entire traffic source, like an entire income, right? So if you make profit or not, then you're putting yourself in a very risky position, because there's always going to be fluctuations on Facebook. And so one of the easiest and best ways to make so much profit that you don't even know what to do with it is exactly recurring revenue, subscription offers. And I'm going to tell you three different things that you can basically do to optimize. However, I'm not going to tell you things to, sell consumables, because that's already something that you probably should know already, right? So if you want to have subscription offers, any part about your offer should be consumable. If you want to have subscription offers, really important. So we're going to talk about three things. First of all, the take rate, how to optimize the take rate of a subscription offer, then how to lower the churn, and then third of all, how to fix the backend process. Okay, so take rate. How do we maximize the take rate of a recurring revenue structure, right? So first of all, obviously this is one of the biggest learnings I've had this year, is whenever you basically put in at the end of the offer the option to subscribe, and then don't give them a picker of, okay, how often or how frequently do I want it again, they will just take whatever you offer them monthly. Because I always thought okay, if I give them the option to buy 1, 2, or 3, then for example they buy the 3, and then obviously they want it every 3 months. And so then I just tested, because I was curious, okay, what's going to happen? Now the crazy thing is, I thought they were going to be super pissed off and go chargebacks and whatnot, and payment processing horror stories that I've heard. And then I tested, and turns out they just figure out what to do with it. They give it to friends, they use more of it themselves, right? There's so much stuff that you would not think until you actually test it. And so this goes to show how creative you have to be. People stay. In fact, you attract better quality customers if you just charge them monthly on whatever you make, and you make 3 times as much money. And those high quality customers are the easiest to fulfill and the most likely to leave a good review and basically refer you to all their friends, right? And those are the types of customers that you want to attract, and that is how you optimize the take rate. Okay, a lot of A/B testing goes into this process, and play around, for example, with the pricing gaps. So I'll give you an example just to illustrate this, right? Even to put away the subscription here. So let's say we have a situation of, we want to have more people take 3 pieces, okay? Then what we'd basically do is we'd increase the price gap between essentially these two, so 1 and 2, because now it's okay, people look at the 1, but it makes sense to buy 2, but the upgrade to 3 isn't that large, so let me just buy 3 anyways, right? Now you can also do this the other way around. If you want to have more people buy 2, then you just increase only the 3, and so this is going to trigger more people to take 2. And then this same thing applies to subscription offers, because usually people don't take subscription offers if the one-time purchase is also too cheap or cheap enough, or the subscription offer is also too expensive. So it's you just increase the price gap between these two, and that's how you make it. So it's if 10% is not enough, then you give 15, then you give 20, and then you give even 25, or you even give a super low upfront offer to make it very easily accessible for literally everyone to go into the funnel of the subscription offer. And that's the point, okay? So a lot of A/B testing once again, and obviously should make every part about your offer as consumable as possible. This is how you really just maximize, okay? Second thing is, how do we minimize the churn? Churn is obviously how many people leave the business, leave a subscription offer, leave the funnel every single month. And usually in ecom, it should be in between 5 to 10%. Okay, that's what you want it to be. Now, in the beginning, it's obviously going to be higher because you need to optimize a lot of different things. But how we can definitely kind of A/B test and optimize this is, for example, with downsell funnels. So you know this from any software that you've bought, right? Think of PP ads. If you wanted to quit PP ads or any product research tool, for example, what it's going to ask you is, hey, why do you want to leave? Right? So like obviously you have to go through 10 different questions and steps, which you can't skip until you can actually even possibly quit the software. Now, when you want to quit, then before based off of your answer, let's say you click it's too expensive, they're going to offer you maybe 3 months for $1 only, right? But you still stay subscribed. And that's the whole point. Like they do everything and they have multiple downsells and they ask you 10 different times, make it super complicated and hard so that you get pissed off and you stop the process of even quitting the subscription. And they make it so hard and so long to quit and so like attractive to take one of the downsells that just everyone stays in the business. And that's how you can really push down the churn as much as possible and retain your customers as much as possible, right? And the second thing here that my beautiful drawing, as you can see, is going to be the customer support, okay? So when it comes to the customer support that you need to have and you need to understand is that these people will heavily make you money. Like if your customer support reps do not know how to make you money, they shouldn't be working for you. And this should be more than just a normal VA, in my opinion. This should be someone who's optimized and like really fast response times and absolutely is able to do this here, talk people out of quitting, right? Even like objection handling through an email, maybe even getting them on a quick call. Like you can be as creative with this as you can really have. And for example, if you don't have that many customers yet, then use that as your leverage. Actually call them up and sell them, maybe even upsell them from a churn call, right? So you can do a lot of stuff if you just actually put the systems in place. And once again, this goes to show how creative you should and have to be overall. And the third step is fixing your backend, okay? So when it comes to your backend, there's only 3 things typically that can go wrong in a subscription offer. First one is failed payments, so payment processing. Then we have a bad onboarding or customer experience overall, right? Obviously, that's something which is part of the backend. And then we have no retargeting. Okay, so failed payments, right? How we can fix this? Obviously, we want to, first of all, very, very much be careful with payment options like PayPal, or even if you're like in other countries where there's other very famous, like just payment options. Like I know in Poland, there's some weird stuff. I know in like other Eastern European countries, they buy with some cash on delivery type of stuff. You want to get rid of those and then just really offer credit card and Shopify payments essentially for these backend systems for the subscription offer, right? You can actually set it up in a code that only those should pop up when someone has something recurring in their checkout process, okay? Now, second of all, the onboarding and the customer experience. So this is actually the quality, the packaging, the overall experience that people have with you. And this is, once again, something which is your job as the founder. So don't outsource this, because this is based off of your understanding of the niche. Like if you were, or if you even are a own prospect of your own business, what would you prefer? What kind of package? How should it look like? And if this is usually what the biggest churn problem is people just hate the product. And that's something which is totally, completely inside of your own power, right? So fix it, especially now, because if you grow without solving your problems, you're growing your problems. So keep that in mind. And then obviously, last but not least, we have the retargeting systems. So if someone does churn out, if someone, for example, was a customer back then, or someone already is a customer but hasn't subscribed yet, you have to, not only with emails and SMS, but also in the ads, retarget those people and launch specific creatives and offers and landing pages that do exactly that. And so once again, be creative and be smarter than everyone else. All right. Now, thank you so much for giving me your most important asset, which is your attention. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I wish you a beautiful day.